Galing niya magsulat. Dapat libro. Ang gasuma. Next part of the program, I will introduce the Congresswoman. What we have with us one of the youngest members of the Philippine Congress, and ang nakakabilib sa kanya, she is one of the most distinguished members of Philippine Congress. Dapat siya yung nasa Senado ngayon, kandidato, pero I think she's still too young. She is a passionate lawyer. Congresswoman Emeline or M. Aglipay Villar was one of the youngest recipients of the TOYM Award, an outstanding young man of the Philippines. In 2012, for public service, she graduated economics degree with an economics degree from the Salud University, magna cum laude honors, and also most outstanding student leader award, the Brother Gabriel Conon Award for most outstanding graduating student. She also won as one of the 10 outstanding students of the Philippines, and she graduated a Bachelor of Laws degree from University of the Philippines, where she was also a member of the Order of the Purple Feather Honor Society, and placed among the top 20 students of the class of 2006. After passing the bar exam, she joined one of the largest best law firms in the Philippines, C. Salazar Law Firm, and also was a key figure in the Democratic Independent Workers Association, or DIWA, which she represents now in Congress. I will ask later on kung konektado to sa history of the Philippine Independent Church, because the history of the Philippine Independent Church very interlinked to the Philippine Revolution and the Philippine labor cause. And she authored many unique and very progressive laws in the Philippines, like the Kasambahay Law, the Magna Carta for Informal Sector Workers, Magna Carta of Filipino Seafarers, and others. Welcome to Congresswoman M. Aglipay Villar. Yes,
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee Flores. Thank you for inviting me this morning. History books will tell us little about Monsignor, Dr. General, and also a lawyer, Gregorio Aglipay Ilabayan, the first Obispo Maximo of the Iglesia Filipina Independiente. That's why I'm thankful to Wilson Lee Flores and the Kamuning Bakery for inviting me in today's Pandesal Forum to commemorate what would be his 156th birthday, and in giving this opportunity to relive his story. I'm a direct descendant of Gregorio Aglipay. Gregorio Aglipay has a brother named Pedro. Pedro's son is Telesforo. Telesforo's son is Joven, and Joven's son is my father, Edgar. So that makes Bishop Aglipay my great-great-grandfather. Gregorio Aglipay is the first bishop of the Philippine Independent Church, or the Iglesia Filipina Independiente, or the IFI, which is a national Catholic Church independent of the Roman Catholic Church in Vatican. Unknown to many, Bishop Gregorio Aglipay is not only a founder of the IFI, but he is also a great revolutionary leader who lived during the time of the Gomburza, Rizal, Bonifacio, and Luna, just like what Mr. Flores mentioned. He united the nationalist Filipino Christians in standing up against colonial oppression by the Spaniards in the Americas. his story may not have been well known due to the religious prejudice against him and the IFI schism with the Roman Catholicism. I think that we should take the time today to remember how his contributions enabled a religious revolution in our country's emancipation. Throughout the course of our history, we have seen how religion has been used to colonize our archipelago. And under this context, Bishop Aglipay fought for the Filipinization of the Church. The Roman Catholic faith and the introduction of the Church began with the Spanish conquest. During this time, religious Filipino people suffered politicking and discrimination with the propagation of the Roman Catholic religion. These injustices did not go unnoticed as protests from Filipinos spread against decrees forbidding assignments of the Filipino clergy to parishes. However, we were deprived of opportunities to be heard, which further enabled ferulocracy to become the rule of the land. As a result, the Church, under the hands of colonial masters, was a divisive force, particularly since Filipino priests were regarded as inferiors compared to their Spanish counterparts. Regardless of where you come from, what your educational background was, there was rampant racism against Filipino clergymen who were disempowered to run their churches in their own homeland. Corruption in the church was widespread, and any hint of nationalism was considered as anti-friar. Under this oppressive rule, Bishop Aglipay chose to stoke the embers of patriotism in fellow Filipinos. He was one of the leaders who called for Filipinos to reclaim ecclesiastical authority and ownership of our own churches. And for this reason, he was excommunicated by the Roman Catholic Church. According to Alfredo Navarra Salonga, there are several words to describe Bishop Gregorio Aglipay: anti-Roman, anti-friar, anti-papal, and schism. These words became part of the mythos that was Gregorio Aglipay. Do these words resemble him? Are these things true? I believe that they are. I believe that these words capture the core of what he stood for. But how we understand these words at the moment does not truly reflect how these words were understood during his time. We need to situate these words within the proper context. Schism. What schism did he cause? It was a breakaway from the tyrannical rule of foreigners. It was a rejection of a colonially imposed institution and a call for the establishment of a truly Filipino church. It was a movement away from Rome and the anti-Filipino bias of Vatican at that time. Anti-Roman, anti-friar, anti-papal did not mean that the opposition was meant to propagate hate and discrimination against other people of faith. What was being rejected was the use of religion as a tool for division and oppression. What was being rejected then was a colonial church that was anti-Filipino and considered the Filipino clergy as inferiors. It was Bishop Aglipay's strong nationalist sentiments which bolstered his belief in the revolution as the path towards true independence. And thus, he accepted the responsibility of becoming one of the revolution's leaders. And later on, his love for country drew him once more to revolt against the American imperialists. The spiritual sickness which ravaged the nation was cured through the religious revolution that flourished under Bishop Aglipay's watch, together with the help of other reformists and Filipino clergy. The pleas and initiatives for a theology and a church that would best serve the Filipino people transformed Roman Catholicism as it became autonomous from the Vatican and integrated Filipinos within the church's hierarchy. I believe that the emphasis of the liberation of our church and Bishop Aglipay was not meant to glorify a person. Rather, its very essence was to promote the fraternal reconciliation of our nationalistic spirit and spiritual liberation. We can see the relevance of our continued battle against social injustices, which is mirrored by our countrymen's daily struggle for abundance, joy, justice, and peace. and we must cure our spiritual sickness in parallel with our societal sickness, with our unceasing effort to uplift our countrymen and women from ignorance and poverty, which was spawned by our colonial heritage. Colonialism and social injustices are problems that we continue to face. Today, Agripay, according to Renato Constantino, is a shining example of relevance in the continuing nationalistic struggle. These struggles are not only rooted on race, but also on gender, on status, and on age. With Gregorio Agripay's blood running through my veins, I strive daily to be worthy of the name that I carry. I continuously uphold the Agripay spirit through my vocation and legislation. As a representative of DIWA party list, I have sought to reform the labor landscape in the Philippines and uplift the dignity of every worker. Neoliberal policies enable capitalist companies to exploit workers, but through the passage of progressive legislation and policies, we can promote systematic and radical change to alleviate the working conditions of Filipino laborers. In reducing these social iniquities, DIWA has championed pro-people policies such as the Kasambahay Law, which provides broad protection to our domestic workers by prescribing a minimum wage, leave benefits, rest periods, as well as providing for social security protection and other benefits such as Pag-ibig and PhilHealth. DIWA has pushed for the passage of the Magna Carta for informal sector workers, which protects the members of the workforce who are not covered by the labor code by expanding their rights and extending to them social security protection and as well as the benefits of PhilHealth and Pag-ibig. Aside from the informal sector workers, the priority bill of DIWA party list ever since we were first elected into Congress in the 15th Congress is the Act to Strengthen Security of Tenure, which seeks to end the unconstitutional practice of contractualization to circumvent security of tenure. It protects the welfare of employees from employers who take advantage in gray areas of the labor code for profiteering through worker exploitation. DIWA believes that by empowering the poor to have more in the eyes of the law, we protect the vulnerable sectors, just as how the Agripay spirit empowered the victims of colonialism and social injustices. At the time when oppressors are no longer as overt as our colonizers were during the time of Bishop Agripay, I think it is all the more timely to relive the Agripay spirit as a lens through which we view the affairs of our society in order to seek out where injustices exist. We are in a more modern age right now where our voices can be heard more readily by the government. We can all be a part of the positive change to solve the long-standing problems of our country. I believe that in our undertaking as Filipino citizens, we continue to live the Aglipayan spirit for as long as we fight against injustices in our society. We are the Aglipayan spirit, and for as long as we continue to fight for the oppressed, as long as we continue to fight for the welfare of the vulnerable sectors of our society, as long as we fight for a just, humane, and free society, the Aglipayan spirit lives on. Thank you and good morning.